All right, good morning. Como allez-vous? How are you? You guys ready to go? All right. Well, let's start with the poll, and then I'll do the disclaimer. What are you trading today? Risk on? Risk neutral? Risk off. Let me go through the routine. You do this. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 21,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance, because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, but please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Ni hao ma! Hey, good to see you, everybody. What do you want to do today? Yesterday, Don said, hey, man, you didn't do enough technical analysis. All right, cool. I'm happy to do that. Right? But I got a lot of questions like, what do you think about gold? Okay, well, that's not a technical question. What do you mean? Technical is just technical. It's just, dude, see it? Look. So that's not a think question. What do I think about it? Well, that's a big... So that's why I would talk about central banks buying and why they would do it and what was the point of that monetary policy. And well, don't ask me to think. If you just want technicals, you don't think about technicals. They are or they are not. So anyway, so you let me know what you want me to do, and I will do my best to serve. So if you just want to do technicals, great. If you just want to do skippity, scalpity, tickety, bibbity, bobbity, boo, whatever, dude, it's just scalping. It's not a problem, right? So please let me know how I can serve you best during our hour of power. The value chain is important because we got a lot of moving pieces right now. Okay? One of the most important things you can do is get a service provider that wants you to succeed. Trader's Way is such a service provider. They have an ECN model with straight-through processing on their servers, which means they only benefit if you succeed, because that means you'll keep trading more and more every day, every week, every month. And over time, your account will grow, so your lot size will grow and all that kind of stuff. Great. They'll execute those trades into the interbanking system. Good. That's what you want. That's what they do. So that's really good. It's a symbiotic relationship. They want you to succeed. All the other brokers laugh in your face when you lose money. That's their business model. If you succeed, they lose money. That's everybody else. Think about that. Literally, think about that. Most brokers, the vast majority of brokers, only make money if you lose money. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That rubs me the wrong way. So get an ECN. I recommend that. The ECN that I use is Trader's Way. You should check them out. The next value proposition that you need to seriously consider is Investor Bootcamp. Okay? So right now there's just about 100 hours of training videos. Okay? And by the end of the month, that's the only thing that's going to be there. Okay? Yeah. Which means these live groups are being moved over to TRADARS. But Investor Bootcamp will become Netflix for investors. So you got to have an elevator pitch, right? Tell me about Investor Bootcamp. It's the Netflix for investors. Oh, cool. Huh? Yeah. So anyways, that's cool. So these training groups are moving. We have QuantBox. It's a Bloomberg terminal for retail traders. Another elevator pitch, right? Yeah. Right. Cool. So it does incredible deep dive research and analysis to uncover long-term trends, institutional positioning, market sentiment, and a whole bunch more. Incredible amounts of data. And so important. Well, this is also moving over to TRADARS. So you're like, Wayne, what the heck is TRADARS? Well, let's go to TRADARS. Okay? Technical, fundamental, scalping, volatility. These are all different types of radars. Okay? Cool. So right now, the website's focused on the technicals, but all these other things are in there as well, including the coaching and community. So, for example, when you... I'm not going to be put into that, huh? Do I even... I don't know. I don't have an account. Let me see if I can get on a different browser. What browser? No. What about that browser? What about that browser? This browser might let me in. Hang on. Tradars.co. Let's see if this will let me in. Yeah, it'll let me in. Yeah. Good. All right, let's go here. This one will let me in. So, for example, the base subscription starting September will give you access to community and some coaching. Cool, which is really nice, huh? And so in the meetup section, you would have, like, for example, in the base, not basic, but in the base subscription, you would have access to, to webinars like the Week on the Street. And this room here, swing trading. And what this is you can RSVP and add it to your calendar. When you RSVP, it puts you on the reminder list, so it'll send you a reminder. Hey, in 1 hour, swing trading is going to start. Oh, cool, and give you a link to log in. How nice is that? And then when I click go, it'll send you, okay, Wayne just started swing trading group. Log in. All right, cool. You can add it to your calendar, all that kind of stuff. It's really nice. But when you actually go into the private room, it actually loads, like a Zoom type call, but it's all built in to TRADARS. And so you'll have all your schedule here. And if you're in the day trading group, your day trading groups will be here. If we're going to schedule special events, it'll all be available in this section, which is really cool. So, you know, it's going to be really cool, right? Very cool. So that's all coming, right? Courses, coaching, community, technicals, fundamentals. And how do you guys feel about doing a news trading group? Scalping the news vol. That used to be a very popular thing back in the day. I don't know if you care about it, but would anyone be interested in a group that is completely focused on trading all the major news events of the week? And I mean the vol. So what we would do is we would use this calendar. Imagine every single one of these events has live trading and squawk built in. Including the squawk. So you could be prepared and you're like, oh, German inflation, or how about German IFO? So Monday at 4 a.m. New York time, there's actually live coaching. And someone can go through all this with you and say, all right, well, euro dollar, if it's less than expected, only offers a day trade. Well, that's really not a scalp. If it comes out greater than expected, okay, well, we have a euro dollar scalp. In that case, 75% chance of down. So you go through the charts and say, let's take a look. What's the velocity of the change? And, depending on the differential. And you go through and you analyze it. And then with the squawk, the news comes out and we get the details of that just instantly, plus commentary over top. You see what I mean? Would anybody be interested in that? Because that's what's on my mind. I think I could do that, but I have to set it up. So if I had like 20 or 30 people who are like, dude, yeah, I will show up for German IFO. That's what I want to do. Wayne, help me do that. So if it's on this calendar, it would be over in the coaching section. So in a coaching, you would have the news trading team. There's the technical trading team, the swing trading team, the fundamental trading team. There'd be a news trading team. Okay. So 5 people. Is that right? So anyways, we can do whatever you want, but you have to tell me what you want by credit card number, because it just costs money. That's it. I mean, we can do anything we want, but it does cost money. Okay? All right, so I could plausibly make that happen. Okay. All right. So we have questions. Okay. I already did gold and even platinum earlier today. Let's look at exotics. Remember yesterday or the day before, whenever we talked about it, I drew the up and then down scenario. How interesting is that? Okay, so should you be RWA for a reversal? Well, you can't buy it now at resistance after the move has happened. Do you understand that? Now that it's rallied up, it would be a terrible time to start to well, maybe I should start buying it. Dude, what are you talking about? If you were going to start buying it, your next opportunity is way the heck down there. And I don't know. So it's more like if I was going to trade this, I would want to look at it from a higher point or a higher time frame, like I did for you the other day, and say, well, we're pretty gosh darn close. So in the next 1, 2, or 3 candles, so the next 12 hours, your hypotheses, okay, is the sell. Cool. So, by the way, I just looking at the chat there. Yeah, we would need, what would be the starting? we would need 25 people to pay $100 a month, eventually getting to 50 people paying $100 a month for that to work, just for that. Okay? Because we need a coach and the squawk. Because you can't have a news scalping service when you get the news 3 minutes late. You need to have it within 1 second or less. So yeah, just for that. Is that right, JP? Yeah. Yeah, add it to the bill. All right, so anyways, you see, so now, does this help? Here's the context. This is called strategy. Somewhere around this price, you want to look for a reversal. We did this, I think it was yesterday or the day before. So once again, strategic doesn't mean you change your opinion every 4 hours. No. So we're at a price, but we don't know if this is the right time. This is the right price to look to start selling, but we don't know when. That's what this chart's about. So now you decide on this chart, when do you want to start selling? A breach of this, okay? For some people, it'll look like this. Sell. For other people, you want a double top of a double top. So you go, and that's you probably have that type of experience scalping the 5-minute chart, because a double top on a 5-minute chart doesn't exist. Okay. You want to see the double top on a 15-minute, and then you want to see a double top on an hour and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to have multiple waves. Sorry. Okay, sure know what I'm talking about? So the price is already established for selling. The time has not been. Strategic and tactical. So now you're doing the tactical side. The tactical side is figuring out the time to sell. And that's where patterns come into play. This is where price action comes into play. Okay, so that's the concept there. And do you remember the fundamental rationale? If risk on continues, dollar will probably weaken. If the U.S. economy is going to be expanding, it'll probably do more business with Mexico. Meanwhile, interest rates in the United States are likely to fall, and interest rates in Mexico are likely to stay high, in particular relatively high relative to the dollar. So if we drop interest rates of 4% in the United States and Mexico keeps it at 10, the carry is 6, and that's pretty good money. A 6 handle on a carry is pretty good. Now, if right now it's 4 something. So if it goes from 4 something to 6, that gets interesting. Okay? Now, if this continues to go high, remember there's no right or wrong. Stop thinking about up and down as good or bad. Stop thinking about right or wrong. These are if-then statements. So, if we get a return toward a carry, like, let's say it differently. If the direction of the USD Mexican peso reverses from going up the last few days to going down the next few days, then when and how is that likely to happen? At a monthly pivot? Sure. In this profit, right, in this target zone? Sure. Seems reasonable to me. Okay, so we got two reasons. Because we're trying to say, if you're going to look for a reversal pattern, where should the reversal pattern occur? At resistance. This zone here and this price here constitute resistance. Will it happen? Oh, we don't know. We're not betting on that. So, if it was going to reverse, where would it reverse? Somewhere around here. Great. Will it reverse? Oh, nobody knows that. That's a fallacy for you to be thinking that way. It's like, if it does, what do you do? Well, if price holds at this resistance zone between 1917 and 1927, okay, then how will you recognize the reversal? Well, you need a reversal pattern. At the very least, double top, lower low, lower high, and you get involved here. And then it could collapse straight down. Okay? Yeah. My experience says, yeah, it'll do that, but don't be shocked if it double tops. You get a double top, right, and drop, retest, double top again, drop. So a double top of a double top. Or don't be shocked if it heads back up on a higher time frame. So it's down for 2 hours, up for 2 hours, and then, you need higher time frames to roll over, and they're looking for the same thing. Reversal patterns at resistance. So you got to give them an opportunity to play the game too. All right, but that's my experience. The thing is, you just need to anticipate that this is the appropriate place, if there are bears, that the market would present a reversal pattern. That's it. So if, we get a reversal pattern, let's say, at this price, then I could sell the double top, or they lower low, lower high after the breach of the neckline. So, opportunity A, opportunity B. And that's how you plan in advance. Okay? You shouldn't be reactionary. Okay? And then once that trend is established, you can probably skippity-scalpity, bibbity-bobbity-boo your way through the trade too. Okay? What do you think about that? Dollar strength, huh? Oh my God. Cray, huh? Dollar ripper strong or peso ripper weak. So you can use your trading tools properly, and you can say, okay, let's look at the short-term indices here. Is it dollar strength? Doesn't seem to be. And I still have economic reports from last night. So last night in Investor Boot Camp, we did our week on the street, And it took hours to go through all the news and read all these reports. Hours. We spent hours going through economic reports from around the world, reading them, looking for the little tidbits, doing deeper dives, and finding the useful information that is not reported in the media. It was long, but we were working. Yeah, it was good. So let's take a look at U.S. dollar in general. And some red. This should be on hourly. Make sure you have congruency. Hour, 4 hour. Yeah. Well, no, let's do the 4 hour. Let's look at these on the 4H. 4H. USD Kitty CAD. So on this 4H, okay, that's the next sell zone. Okay. Okay. And yeah, again, yesterday, someone's like, hey, man, you didn't do any technical analysis. I'm sorry, I do it all day, every day. So I forget. And then I'm like, dude, I mean, that's what you do. There you go. I'm done. So I forget. Some of you are still learning, obviously, and I forget, and I'm sorry. But yeah, you sell it off the 5 EMA, you sell it off the bearish selling zone, which I plot in advance in real time. I forget. So you need to ask more. Okay, so yeah. All right, so USD yen, can zoom in there a little bit more on the 4H to see where we are. Okay. So, yeah, pretty reliable pattern there. The only thing is every time we hit this target, the more likely it's going to stop. Okay. But see, this pullback is tricky because you can see down way to the left here, we had it as old resistance. So it can act as support. So if you traded this last week and you had this in mind, that is not wrong. You had this zone right here. That made a lot of sense. Higher high, higher low. That's part of trading. Losing's not a problem. Buying again and again and again is the path to bankruptcy. Okay? Recognizing that, the lower low, lower high scenario. Okay. And that. Now we have a double bottom, right? So this is where it gets complicated. Okay, this is where it gets complicated because it could start to do this. So if you're a bear, just realize that that's a risk you're facing. Don't ever go like, well, it might go up or it might go down. That's BS. What are you going to do? Are you a bull or a bear? You're like, Wayne, I'm still a bear. Then what's your problem? Well, there's support. No, there's no support. You told me you were a bear. If you're a bear, there's no support. What are you talking about? Okay? So as a bear, right, you got this and this is your target, probably the lower one. So make a decision. That's fundamentally That's, QuantBox helps with that kind of stuff. So you sell there and it hits this. That's pretty obvious. You should expect the up. Well, if you manage your stop on this one, okay, look, if it goes up, you break even. And you're like, man, it reversed. Yeah, it'll probably do something like that. Very, very, very predictable. Okay, but so you get stopped out of break even. Don't cry for me, Argentina. That's part of trading. But if you're truly a bear, okay, there's your roll reversal. And your next shot is you're going to take it down there. I would expect it bounces. And guess what? Because you're a bear, guess what's going to happen? Yeah, you're going to sell it again and take it down here, right? That's the future of the world according to a bear. Now, I even have this set up still as a bull because I think at one point we might have had something like that. So once you realize you're a bear, remember you change the tools. So you go to indicator list, biased pivots, and you're a bear, bro. You're a bear, bro. So how do you trade? Wayne, teach me how to day trade. Okay, lower low predicts a lower high. And day traders have a little tool that says, this is where you sell it.
And making you aware, in 10 minutes' time, at the top of the hour, the BLS will release its annual benchmark revisions to the payrolls data, as well as its quarterly census of employment and wages. Regarding the metrics, analysts at Goldman Sachs do expect the data to show a downward revision between 0.6 million and 1 million, but said this would overstate the weakness of the labour market. Meanwhile, Citi said expectation of a significant downward revision has been put up as part of the rationale behind the recent dollar sell-off, and the recent data could confirm that payrolls have been overstating strength in the US labour market. Nonetheless, Citi still believes it will take a significantly large print to spur further dovish Fed pricing, and Citi itself expects between 500 to 7,000 revisions lower based on how much of the official QCEW data has undershot payrolls. It is worth noting recently the Fed has been shifting its focus onto the labour market, noting its recent policy statement that job gains have moderated and the unemployment rate has moved up but still remains low, while risk to achieving its employment and inflation goals continue to move into better balance, but it was still attentive to the risk to both sides of its dual mandate. Regarding Fed pricing, markets are currently fully pricing in a 25 basis point rate cut in September, with around 100 basis points of easing priced through the end of the year. And as a reminder, there is a full preview on the headline feed at 1:21 London time.
So the question is, hey, can you still sell it when you've hit weekly target? My answer is, well, what's your monthly target? Well, we call that as an Arctic turtle. And the analogy is he's going to stretch his neck out one extra time. See, everyone has this as tomorrow's target, and it's here. That's the monthly target. So my experience tells me, and it's just experience, I don't know the future, but if we get something like this, we're going to hit this target and snap there, and then the next day, massive profit taking, right? Because everyone, weekly, daily, and monthly traders are going to get out at this 143.5 kind of area. Okay? Because day traders, remember the target's going to move. So I think tomorrow, if we get a lower low, this pink zone's going to move down to here, which means the target zone's going to move down to here. And so now we have confluence. Confluence means daily, weekly, and monthly traders all have their eye on that. And they're all going to take profit, and it's going to pop. But you have to make a decision. I don't know. Right? So the question is, Well, should you sell there with the weekly there? I don't know. What should you do? Okay, I don't know. You have to make a decision. How much juice is left in this lemon? I don't know. How's it behaving? What's your level of aggression? What are market conditions? What are we risk on or risk off? I don't know. What do you think? Okay. So that's what I think. I think we could probably get down to get the daily, tomorrow's daily traders, this week's weekly traders, and this monthly traders down to 143.5. So would I sell here? I don't know. Make a decision. That's our alpha, right? Our ability to make the right decision is our alpha. David's like, how far do you think gold will come down before everyone gets back in? I answered that at QuantBox an hour and a half ago. I might have already done it here. I don't remember anymore. Oh, I just realized there's still plastic on my watch. I didn't even know. I don't even know how to get it off. Okay. Well, Lewis, by definition, the dollar is not a carry trade. So, once again, be careful who you listen to. Okay? Okay, let's talk about it. Is Aussie dollar a carry trade? No, I know, but Lewis, let's talk about it. Is that sorry, I didn't draw the right thing. But let's just talk about it, right? Okay. Is that a carry trade? No. What's the interest rate in Australia? Okay, well, let's do some clarity here. Okay, if you guys don't have QuantBox / TRADARS fundamental analytics, you're just not doing it right. I mean, that's just it. All right, so we could go, for example, Forex pairs. We'll load the database. Okay. And we'll go to Aussie dollar. How come I don't see it? Oh, here it is.
And just making you ahead of the annual payroll revisions, just seeing a bit of strength creep into US equity futures here. The EMI S&P 500 up 0.3%, Nasdaq 100 up 0.4%, Russell 2000 outperforming up 0.5%.
Okay. Is this a carry trade? Oh yeah, we changed this to be hot money, not absolute money. All right, we need to go to a different page. I might bring it back, because this is short-term money differentials, not headline. We used to have headline. All right. So I can still get that data. But by the way, when you ask me about Aussie dollar, what do I think about Aussie dollar? This is what I think about Aussie dollar. So you don't need to ask me anymore. You need to ask me very specific questions. Okay.
In minutes' time, we're going to look out for the BLS. It will release its annual benchmark revisions to the payrolls data. And by way of expectations, Goldman Sachs does expect the data to show a down revision between 0.6 and 1 million.
Okay. The question is Aussie dollar a carry trade? Okay, you would have to be long Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, okay, is not compared to the funding currency that you have to pay. There's just not enough. There's not enough carry.
10 seconds until the top of the hour.
So at some point, the bet is the Fed's going to cut 1.5%. Now, this is actually pretty funny, isn't it? Because you hear people on TV talking all the time that the Fed's going to cut aggressively. Right? They're going to cut aggressively, right? And they're going to go to this number and that number. Nobody ever just says, well, you know what? The Fed has told us 1.5% interest rate cut. So we're 5.5%. So we're dropping to 4%. Done. Now that might change over the next 18 months, but that's what we know to be factual. But and Australia might cut 0.75%, but I have doubts on that. I think that's going to change because I've been reading the economic data. So, yes, there will be some sort of differential, right? So, Australia...
We're not seeing the figure as of yet, but just seeing a bit of downside in treasuries creep in here and some upside in the dollar. As mentioned, still on the lookout for that figure.
Let's pretend this is correct. And when we look at the trade now, odd USD. Okay? Let's say 1 year from now, this is true. The United States cuts interest rates to 4%. And right now, let's say Australia cuts a little bit, but not as much as here. And I mean over 12 months, right? So Australia cuts, let's say, once. Because we've looked at their data. They're not in a situation to be cutting. New Zealand, you might say, is cutting, right? But I read in great detail last night. Great detail. In the swing trading group. We went into great detail and we know exactly why the Bank of New Zealand is cutting. And then in great detail, we read about Australia. They are not in the same situation. And our RBNZ is not in the same situation as USD. These are all different scenarios. You should know these things. But let's say RBA is not in a situation to cut in the way that they have told us, or which is not told us, that their own projections. And it turns out these projections are probably wrong. So they've only cut in 0.75%. But my analysis tells me even that is wrong. And so 1 year from now, let's say they cut once. Okay? Okay. This is not a carry trade. Okay? And in the statement that somebody posted, I can't remember who posted it, they said, Citibank says, first of all, I hate stuff like that. I don't care what they say. But anyways, Citibank says the yen is dead, the carry trade is back, but they're going to do it with the dollar. But the dollar pays more than the Australian dollar, the US dollar. So when they say they're going to use the USD instead of the yen, they mean Aussie dollar up. But that's actually negative carry. It's the opposite of a carry trade. What they're saying is, oh, well, the dollar's going to weaken. Yes. Okay. And maybe Aussie dollar goes up because of that. Yes. But that's capital appreciation.
Just getting a couple of questions into the desk here. Just making you aware, I've still not seen the revisions from the BLS, but nonetheless, we have seen some downside in treasuries, albeit it has paired most of that move, and also dollar moving to session highs of 101.63. But as mentioned, yet to see that figure, but still, of course, are on the lookout.
Okay, that's capital appreciation. That's not carry. It's a negative carry. So you're like, dude, Wayne, that's a lot of intel to be able to go into there and start reading in those numbers. Yeah, I do the work. And the interesting thing is, I work for you. I'm on your team. You should pay the money, you should attend the meetings, and you should watch the recordings. And you should do it from a learning perspective. Yeah, maybe. Hey, David. Yeah, it's just the carry was on the dollar was when we were at 5, and everything else was lower, or But even then, so these are the cuts that are coming. By the way, I want you to really think about how truly extraordinary what we now call the fundamental analytics tool truly is. That we get this data from the central banks.
According to Reuters sources, Rosneft has resumed LPG supplies from the Rosbrand subsidiary damaged by a fire.
So we know these cuts are projected by the central banks themselves. Okay? And in theory, these economies, these currencies should weaken. And when we debate about what the Bank of Japan's going to do, we've known this 0.65. We've known this for a minimum of 6 months, but I think it's closer to 9 months. The Bank of Japan have already told us all this. So when you hear on the news that the yen pairs collapsed because the Bank of Japan raised interest rates, but we've known that for 9 months, that can't be true. That's so stupid. Okay, what happened was everybody jammed their stops. And there was a cascade event, which always happens to a carry. And it was seasonal and predictable. You just didn't know when, but when it happened, there was no delusion about what was happening. And there was no surprise that the Bank of Japan was going to raise interest rates. We had it plotted.
And folks, just to clarify, we're still not seeing the official data released just yet. Desk is on the lookout. Just acknowledge the questions that we're getting through. It's not being released just yet from what we can tell.
So anyways, we have all this information. Okay? To be shocked is to lose money. So, will South Africa cut interest rates? People on TV, they give you their opinion. Well, we think about this and we think about that. And if you look at this and if you look at that, our forecast is blah, 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 blah. Instead of saying, well, the Central Bank of South Africa has projected interest rates coming down all the way to 7.25% by the middle of next year. Why all the other blah, blah, blah? Now, so if they drop 1 percentage point, so 25 basis points every quarter, okay, we get down there 1 year from now, 7.25%. But in the United States, interest rates will be 4%. Well, let's take a look. What is projected? 4. You see? It's glorious having information, huh? All right. So we're going to go from 5.5 to 4. Who told us this? The Fed. And South Africa is going to be paying 7.25. What's the carry 1 year from now? 3.25. Is that a carry trade? No, nobody cares about that. Okay? No, really, no. And maybe the Fed gets interest rates down to 3.5. It's barely a carry trade. For the amount of risk you take, I don't know. It's not that good. But what if you were South African Rand versus Swiss franc? Okay. Switzerland, 1.25. Okay. And then drop to 1. And then 1. And then 1. And then 1. Do you get the trend there? Stable changes in interest rates forecasted by the Swiss National Bank. Okay? So a cut here, not a shocker. Stable, 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 stable. And I guess we could probably project this out, that everything's golden. Okay? Okay? All right. So let's go back to here. There we go. So what if you could... Okay? Well, good. See, there you go, Favor. That's a good question. What is the definition? Okay? The definition is you borrow something cheap. So I'm going to say my projection, I believe, no. The Bank of Japan have told us that they're going to raise interest rates. Okay? You see? And they're going to do it in the first quarter. There's no debate here. I don't have an opinion. This is what the Bank of Japan has told me. That's what I believe for now. Interest rates in the first quarter of 2025 are going to go up. Yeah. Cool. Done. So that will be your borrowing cost. Now they're going to jack up interest rates to 0.4 and then later 0.65. Okay, cool. But that's still cheaper than Switzerland. But they're both quite cheap. Okay? And over time, like let's say in 2 years, I think Switzerland will still be 1. And Japan will be 1. I think they'll converge. So when you are long, sorry. I was trying to think what currency to be long. Okay. When you're long, okay, right now, let's say XXX, YYY. Okay. Z is easier. All right. Okay. Z. Okay. When you are long, you're buying this. And when you are long, you're borrowing this. Cool. So for me, let's say, I put in, I put in $1,000 of dollars. I use this as collateral. And through the interpreter at your broker, right, you're able to go to another central bank and say, I want to pony up $1,000 of USD to use as collateral. How much can I borrow against that? And let's say, so in the United States, you can get 50 to 1. Outside the United States, you can get, let's say, 100 to 1. Let's just do 101 just because the math is easier, right? So you can, right? So your broker on your behalf goes to the Swiss National Bank. Okay? And you borrow Swissy. But you get 100,000, there's your 100 to 1, dollars worth of Swiss franc. So 100,000 US dollars. So you put 1% down, right? You got $100,000 now, multiplied by the exchange rate of the Swissy. So now you have $100,000 worth of Swiss franc. You have a loan. And then with your $100,000 worth of Swiss franc, okay, you buy something with it. Well, you have a cost of borrowing. You took out a loan. So to have $100,000 worth of Swiss franc, you must pay 1%. Why? That's the interest rate in Switzerland. And we have that indicated in these green bars, right? Okay. So now you're paying 1% on your $100,000 loan. Take the loan and you buy something with it. Okay? So let's say in the future you end up buying Rand. It's 7.25, but let's just say 7. So you take this and now you have 100,000 USD of Swiss franc, and then you convert the $100,000 worth of Swiss franc into $100,000 worth of Swiss franc into Rand. Okay? So you convert dollars to Swissy and then Swissy to Rand. And you are now acting as a bank. You are lending the Swiss franc to South Africa because they need to borrow foreign currency. Really what you're doing is you're just buying South African Rand and then basically putting it in a bank or buying a liquid bond or something like that. But you can just think of it as whatever investment. Okay, so to do the math now, okay, let's do this. I'll do it in green. Okay, you lose 1% here annually, and you win 7% annually. What is the carry? Carry is your income minus expenses. So, okay, you're going to earn 6%. That's what a carry trade is. Now, the value of the rand can go up and down too, so you better know what you're doing. But as far as carry, it's the borrowing cost the income of the investment minus the cost of your leverage, your loan. So you're going to make 6% annually. But you collect the 6%, but you only have 1% of your actual cash. So you get 6% of the $100,000.
All the questions coming into the desk. This data still has not been released just yet. We are, of course, on the lookout. No official release has happened just yet. It's around 10 minutes now to the bottom of the hour. We will get the weekly crude inventories. For those who want expectations, I would point you towards the newsfeed where all of that is there. I'm going to try and keep the squawkers silent as possible until we get this BLS revision.
Okay. Cool. So you get your 6% on the $100,000. So you earn, right, $6,000. But you only have $1,000 in cash invested into this deal. So you make a 600%. Okay. Do you make 600% ROI or IRR? What do you guys think? ROI or IRR? Return on investment or internal rate of return? See, that tells me you haven't taken the training course. Oh, you know what? It's because I haven't released the stock trading course. Maybe I should do that. Yeah. So anyone that took the stock trading course 2 summers ago know the difference between ROI and IRR. But in any case, the answer is IRR. Okay? So for every dollar invested, you earn $6 back. 600% internal rate of return. And this does not count any pips up or down. This is just the carry or carried interest. You hear this a lot in other financial markets, so even venture capital, they talk about your carry and all that kind of stuff. But in this case, this is the income you've earned. Your income, the interest collected. Now, if you are short this same pair under the same scenario, you lose 600%. You have a negative carry. So you would never sell this pair. Or to say it differently, if it's Swiss franc over rand, you would only sell, okay? Because you're trying to capture the carry as part of your strategy. Okay? So several years ago, I did was it rand or lira? I think it was Turkish lira. Does anyone remember? I held it for 10 months. I made no pips, 0 pips. Was my IRR 1,000 or was it 10,000%? Does anyone remember? I remember it was pretty big.
So folks, again, we've not seen the official release of this BLS data just yet. Some market contacts who claim that they've called the BLS, and again, this is impossible to verify, are claiming it's a revision down of 818,000. Again, I've not seen that data myself. Please treat with caution. We're just conveying some information from a usually reliable market source.
Favor, I don't understand that comment. Yeah, expand on that. Yeah, it must have been 1,000. It's 10,000's hard to believe. So, anyways, 1,000% internal rate of return. Took me 10 months, and I made no pips. Yeah. There you go. You know. Yeah, I remember teaching this 20 years ago, and I remember even the suit I was wearing. It was a travel suit, and I did not like it. And it would probably be swing trading. Is it in there? I remember doing it. No. It might be under not fundamentals. It's not macro. Did I throw it in fundamentals? It might have been there for a little bit and then I took it out. I don't think so. Oh, maybe. Oh, this is me at the MGM Grand. Macro and micro. Correlation, advanced trading. I don't think it's that one. That's the butterfly effect one, I think.
And they're investing it, which means...
Yeah, chaos theory and butterfly. Yeah, no. Day trading, no. Oil trading, no. Price action, no. Technical analysis? Would I put it in there? I don't think so. No, that's... no. Introduction to Forex? No. No, this is the original boot camp. Huh? A young David Pegler? So here, there is carry trading here, but I'm missing the one that I did.
So this item, you do not, if you do not train this item to be in a position to be successful, level of protect. All right, trading in oil and the petrodollar, etc.
Yeah, it must have been. It's just in the swing trading group. I see. It's not here, not here, not here, not here. None of these. It's funny because a lot of these courses have been like added or pulled away from. And I know what it looks like. How to trade the Asian session. Cool. I remember doing that. Yeah, swing. It's not swing. It got buried. I'll need to go back and add to some of these things. Because I know it's there. I know we have it somewhere. Central banking fundamentals. I don't think it would have been here. Maybe it was here. No, okay, I already did this. So it's not that one. Maybe, no. See, I remember wearing a different suit. This is me at the MGM Grand. Look how far away the camera is.
All right, well, welcome everybody. If you're in the room to see fundamental Forex trading strategies, you are in the right room. And like I said before, we're in the Grand Ballroom, but there are quite a few hundred people online watching this as well. So
interesting. It's probably somewhat in here as well. Maybe I remember a different version. What is your bias? Gold, yeah. Oh, man. Kurt really used to do this for us. So that's not the one either. So I've covered it like inside and out, upside and down, but we
So
have
energy data due in around
we have a
1
whole
minute's
nother
time,
lecture
still
on it.
not
I
seen
need to
the
find it.
BLS official release just yet.
Yeah. So good. I could add more recordings to the training courses. I'll find them, man. I'll find them. Interesting. It's not there. I do remember doing it. So anyways, you can get better. But I think I was telling you at the time, I was making like 850% a year on the Kiwi yen. And this would have been, golly, 2006?
10 seconds to the bottom of the hour.
Okay, oil inventory. Here it comes, oil inventory. Oh, look at that. Kick off that. Just beauty.
Crude draw 4.649 million. Cushing draw 560,000. Distillate draw 3.312 million. Gasoline draw 1.61 million. So that's draws across the board there. And the UK TMO will sell 1.5 billion sterling of 2033 index-linked gilts, 28th August.
See, in the news scalping room, the news trading room, we would have it this running 24 hours a day.
100,000 at 13.4 million barrels a day.
So you're in tune to every news event, not just the ones that we have radars on, but all news events. We'd have a room 24 hours a day with this audio and the news headlines. So you just have this running on your TRADARS. What do you think of that? I think if I move this over as a platform. Then we can scalp it, right? Well, I guess instead of doing all this manually. Same. Connect these. Same. Oops. Okay, but you see we have drawdowns, supply down, price up. Okay, there's your little bye-bye. Bye. That Backstreet Boys? Or is it in sync? I don't know.
And that is a revision lower of 818,000. So those initial rumors that we heard seemingly confirmed here in the official release. Revision lower 818,000. Remember, the consensus had sought somewhere between 600,000 and a million. Positics in treasuries, few negatives in equities. So that's the BLS annual benchmark revisions to the payrolls number, revised lower by 818,000.
Okay, coming down. Moment of truth. Okay, so looking here. I'm working on it Sunday. I think I should be able to get all that done today. So again, send me another email. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to maybe eat a little bit of food, and then I'm going to open my laptop. I'll see your email, and then I'll follow up on the development team, and we should probably have you good to go. And there you go. I screamed out moment of truth.
And just in terms of the impact on the unemployment rate, the BLS says that this would cut the level of employment by 0.5%.
0.5. Here's the European wrap-up, so you can very quickly just read their little summaries. Okay? It's nice, right? Okay. Second chance. Remember, we're fighting with the psych level of 75. If we can get above that, that's a big deal.
And folks, just in terms of the implications of this data as it gets wider dissemination now, finally, little change in Fed pricing here, not too much at all, about 32 basis points priced for that September meeting in terms of cuts. That was 33 before the data. And in terms of the end of the year, around about 100 basis points of cuts are priced versus around 101 prior to the release.
Testing 75 now. Done. All right, that's it. I'm going to leave you. You either did it or you didn't do it. So thank you for being part of Forex.Today. I think it's a YouTube community that makes the world a better place. I like the work that we do together, you and I. Please consider TRADARS. Please consider Trader's Way. Okay? Epic relationship, epic products, epic services. Everything we do is great and good. So thank you for being part of that. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And if please, in 10 seconds, refresh your page and please leave a comment under the recording. Thank you.